Hey, what up, guys? Welcome back to the Project Jira. Rishabh here, another video podcast. 3 questions. First of all, how's your day going? What's the main highlight? Particularly most important moment of your day. Secondly, and let me just say this is kind of what we're going to cover today in this particular video, and there's a lot of it. But again, first, your main highlight. Second, what was the venting frustration? You want to just kind of vent a little bit. And thirdly, what do you have in your daily life or routine or chores, or something, maybe a new development that is somewhat related or relevant to this, which is, I'm just going to call it cleaning. So the topic for this video is some sort of not cleaning, home renovation, you could say, painting, scraping, floors and stuff like that, and the walls making it look and stuff, or moving out, if that's a topic that is relevant for you. So that's something that will be for the main topic here. Of course, quickly, slice of life in real life pushed together, mishmash, create this authentic VR paradox. So it's something got to do with real life domains of such as finance, responsibility, relationships, and employment and stuff like that. Housing, and then it's also mixed in with more abstract, like psychiatry, self-improvement, content creation, and that's that. So with that being said, let's just get right down to it. If you know how this works, what's now going to happen in my life, right? I'm just going to disclose that a bit. So for hopefully the next 10 minutes tops, I want to kind of keep it down, not spend too much time. But basically, regarding the comments, by the way, just go over to YouTube. I know that, of course, I used to say Spotify maybe has a way for you to leave your comments. It doesn't. I'm sorry, guys. So just hop over to YouTube or my Reddit or whatever, and just post away, your highlights, frustrations, and something that's kind of relevant to what was the topic of this video. It happened in, I don't know, and it doesn't have to be just should be recent enough. Or you could post a meme, and then that could be a good alternative as well. So let's just get started. This video is going to be covering, like I said, a lot of cleaning topics. So those are meal purchases, really, and I'm going to switch scenes here so that you can see stuff a little bit better here. Okay, so there's some tools. Okay, and what I'm going to do is say that this is going to be, I think, 3 videos back to back. I'm going to be recording at least. So it's a lot to get through, but it's all important stuff that I have to get through. Or do I? No, you never have to do anything. That's a mental trap I was fall into. So first of all, let's get right to it. I'm going to cover some stuff that's related to. There's 2 really interesting tools, so look forward to that. I'll talk about these 2 in a moment, nearing the end of this video. But I won't get through this kind of stuff first. It's kind of the less exciting, less interesting stuff. So we have here, although it's kind of funny, because first of all, this is a terrific brand, terrific with a K at the end, just a brand name for toilet bowl cleaners, $1.25, $1.25, so quarter cents. Cleans with every flush. There's 2 of them, and each one lasts for 200 to 250 flushes. At the very back has a bunch of instructions and warning hazard signs, of course, for safety and all that crap. May irritate your eyes, may irritate your skin. Dangerous fumes are formed when mixed with other products, so do not mix with other chemicals. Of course, you only toss this, you lift the hood of the toilet and you toss it back. I know it's kind of weird that we're starting off the video talking about toilets, but that's what the fuck it is. That's life, so do not mix with the chemicals, do not get the eyes, do not get the skin or clothing, do not breathe in fumes. Directions, so on and so forth. Yeah, put this down. Not gonna lie, we're making this video a little bit just to kind of make fun of someone who's actually kind of, not more than one person who's actually kind of irritated by the video. So it was like, all right, you don't like the videos? Okay, let's just make more videos then. Only in response to the fact that they've been, heavily abusive to me. So it's like, I don't see why I should care anymore. Anyways, so here we have Clorox on the go disinfecting wipes. It's kind of comedic, actually. But they can be them, it's like, that's something that I have to be thankful for the general public. The experience I've had that's been really, really deeply unsettling. You could say it's like public harassment. has been formative in shaping me in such a way that I am able to completely be immune to the verbal abuse, the harassment, the gossip, the slander that is being displayed from my own household here. So it's like, yeah, the irony, right? I mean, well, I planned it out that way. I kind of went out there to put myself into exposure therapy, and it really works. Of course, social interaction, exposure therapy, introspection. All right, anyways, back on topic here. Now that has to be a topic of the title. Maybe we'll just put it up there. Anyways, Clorox on the go. Did I say how much it cost? So that's from Dollar Store. So it's $1.25. We have Clorox on the go disinfectant wipes for travel, car, purse. Open here, 25 wet wipes. Caution, irritant. And I didn't want to buy this actually. This one is fairly sticky, and it's only got 15 wet wipes for the whole package. So it's for $1, I think. But the alternative, I asked the cashier, no, not cashier, one of the stock shelvers at the dollar store, and we had a very short, brief conversation, but he was pretty warm, and he just basically said, oh, those things go, you know, they just, once they come, they go, just like that, and just snaps, you know, it's just like, right? Because one of those things that was just a really great deal. You get like 50 wet wipes, and it's only for like $1. That's crazy. Right, especially how expensive everything is, especially with how expensive everything is. Say that 3 times fast. So I had to get this instead, and I had to use it actually because unfortunately in my bag there's a huge mess maple syrup from McDonald's that I saved. I said, you know, I shouldn't do this because it's going to burst, and then the syrup's going to leak all over my bag. Well, guess what? What I thought would happen exactly happened. I didn't notice that there was something inside like that would burst, and then I smashed my bag against something, against like a pole, and then it just burst like a bus stop pole. So I had to clean it up using a wet wipe, so they came in handy. Anyways, that's for $1. And then we have, so that's a lot of cleaning stuff, right? So I gotta mention, of course, the wet wipes are for the go, logistics, so you go anywhere, traveling outside, go to the library, go to work. But the toilet bowl, obviously, this is for the new place I'm moving into. I'm gonna keep that under wraps for a bit. Save that for the next 2 videos. There's actually a video down the line there. We'll discuss about tenant housing, all that kind of stuff. And it's really important, right? Because it's got paperwork. So what we have here next is a plastic drop sheet. So we're moving towards things, you know, that have to do with housing, cleaning it up. So great news, but we have the keys and everything. We got the lease signed, and I'm doing fairly. There's a lot of peace, you know. You should see me when I was on the bus. You know, we'll talk about this next time in the next video. But basically, I was on the bus. It was like the immeasurable amount of peace to be separated from these fools at the back out here. Feels so good. Anyways, we have a plastic drop sheet. It's disgusting behavior, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. But I mean, that's them being them, right? That's one of those things that, you know, I really had to experience up front, just in the public. You know, people just being themselves, and they are like that. They like to gossip, and they love to spread rumors about people, and they, you know, love to insult and say, you know, that fucking guy or that fucking girl, and they like to do and make fun of people and harass people. That's what they are. That's just who they are. And if they make a mistake in their character and they learn, oh, okay, I was being dumb and immature, well, they'll suffer the consequences and learn on their own, but that's still just them being them. And I can just be myself, and they can be themselves, and, you know, what they do has no bearing on me. And it took a lot of like exposure to that to really get comfortable with that kind of stuff. A lot of help from my caseworkers themselves, chiming in on their personal experiences and how they came to those kinds of things themselves. So anyways, it's just what it is. All right, 2 more things here, right? So are related to cleaning. We have these painter gloves. No, there's a lot more. There's more, but so this is painter's gloves from the dollar store. There's 2 of these, 2 pairs. So there's 4 of them. They're perfectly white. It's one of those like slim gloves that you wear. It's kind of like one-sided or something like that. No, it's not one-sided. So the painter's gloves, yeah, they're one-sided. So one side is kind of non-porous, nothing can seep through. The other side, it's kind of breathable. So I'm going to use this as I'm cleaning the room that I now have. So it's gonna be great. That's that. And I think it costs really $1.50. And then we have this plastic drop sheet. Now the branding is all gone from this kind of stuff. on the painter stuff though. I can show you on my phone. I said I wanted to show you later as well with the tools, how I have scanned all the packaging, right? But anyways, plastic drop sheet, all purpose, plastic on the outside. Inside it's the plastic drop sheet, of course. What is a drop sheet? Think of what painters do, you know, what painters have on the floor to prevent the paint from spilling everywhere. It's fairly straightforward. Drop sheet, drop it on the floor, and then you just paint, right? But I'm going to be using this most likely after I sweep and mop the floors and everything like that and scrape all the crap out of the, because it's pretty disgusting right now, honestly. Because the old tenant moved out, right? And then there was renovations, and then even though the property manager did their job and stuff like that, you know, it's very difficult to clean up all the fucking mess, especially if the other tenant was unruly, and I could see that the other tenant wasn't a very hygienic person. It's pretty disgusting. So I'm gonna clean it, or hire cleaners if I don't. You know, we get some contractors if we can't do a good job themselves, and then cover up when painting or renovating your room. That's what it says here at the very back, in French and Spanish, I believe, or Portuguese. Pour recouvrir lorsque vous quitterez votre maison. Bâche de protection en plastique. Okay, and it's like in some Portuguese, I don't know. Cubiera de plástico para protección. Okay, anyways, that's me and my rough attempt, my very poor, sad, pathetic attempt at trying to say Spanish, Espanol. So that's the plastic drop sheet. This one costs about $1.50, super cheap. And the most important part is the dimensions, 2x4 meters by 3.6 meters. So you think about that, man, that's crazy, because it's like, think about that, it's like half a room. Well, exactly. But that's only, unfortunately, some caveats to this. This thing's really thin. So what I intended to do was use this after having cleaned the floors, place this down, and then just kind of leave it there. Because my floor tiling, unfortunately, in the new house has a lot of cracks. Not cracks, but like creases, because the top between the tiles. And you know, that's a very bad way to hide things like bed bugs. And those are that's the worst thing you can possibly have. Like bed bugs, cockroaches, that kind of shit. That will make your living situation a living fucking hell. So the best way is just to seal it, prevent it from happening by taking this plastic thing and just covering all along the edges. Unfortunately, you know, I can't make permanent changes. We'll talk about that in the next video, or the next two videos down the line, about the tenant agreement, the lease agreement in general. But I can't make permanent changes, obviously, because this is like a subsidized housing kind of thing. Even so, it's like the landlord's property, it's not my property, right? So there are limitations, and that's my solution. Two more things I want to talk about here. Tools. So what we have are Pro Painter and Duramax Pro. Now, before we do this, you can see that the packaging is gone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place these down. I'm going to pull up my phone, and I don't do this often. Like I said, it's the first time I've ever done something like this. I'm going to unlock it. You're not going to see how to do that. And I'm just going to show you here. Here's the packaging. Now, oh shit, you can't make out. The contrast is horrible. But you can see here, it's like Pro Paint. There's like Comet. No, you can't. I'll read it out to you. There's scan photos of the Clorox of Comet. Comet is like that, you know, tile and tub cleaner. I don't have it here with me. I put it inside the residence that I leased out, so it's great. I don't have to carry it with me. And then down here somewhere, you can't see it, unfortunately. It's just the contrast is too heavy. There was also, I already put it on to drive anyways. Also the packaging for these two. So what are these two? This is, so on the topic of painting and renovating, cleaning up the room. So this Pro Painter, let me just show real close. Really, really nice quality item from the dollar store. $4.50 after tax, about $5. So I pull it out and release, and you see this beautiful blade come out. It's like an axe head, and just clicks really gently. Over here, there's a little latch here that's kind of gyrated, and you press it down here. It's on a lever, a little slant. You press it down, it allows the blade to loosen, and then you can go back in again. So this reminds me a lot like the I didn't watch it myself, but my brother used to watch things like CSGO and stuff like that, and he used to tell me all these stories about like these knives you pull out, like called a butterfly knife, and you know, so did my friends. They were really into like FPS games and RTS, like, you know, Warcraft and stuff like that. I never really got into that kind of stuff. I was always more of an RPG kind of person, think of RuneScape and stuff. But anyways, the point is, this really reminds me of one of those things. Now, what this does, this is a Pro Painter tool. Obviously, we're not talking games now, we're talking real life here. Although, you know, you can see that IRL, SOL, slice of life in real life makes VR and authentic real life. Oh, I gotta be careful with this thing. This is really, really sharp, actually. Well, it's not really sharp, it's kind of dull. But what you can do with this is you can scrape off all the windows and scrape off any paint and grit as you go along. And there's a sharpened edge here to do that, to reach into corners, right? It's a multi-purpose blade. It's a multi-purpose Pro Painter scraping tool. I think that's how they market it. In here, there's even like a bottle cap opener, and you know, that's really nice. So anyways, it's a great retractable thing. It's got a safety thing like that. Just put it in, and then it just kind of locks there. At the very back, there's a clip here, and it's very, very well made. The quality on this thing is fucking phenomenal. These got like the screws here, the polishing, the edges is brilliant. This is like a handcrafted masterpiece. This is one of those rare items you get from the dollar store, which really should be worth like $15 from Home Depot or something like that. Now let's talk about something else that's also a scraper. Now this is something you can expect more from the dollar store. So this quality is not as good at all. Obviously, it's just plastic, and it's but it does the job, and it does it really nice. And this has some benefits that tool doesn't. That's obviously, it's like a professional kind of like artisan craft thing. Over here we have a Duramax Pro, which is a common brand at the Dollarama store. You pull this out here, there's a little lever here, and it retracts and extends the blade. You can do 2 notches. If you do 2 notches, it goes all the way out and you can pull out the blade. Now, I'm not going to do that because I'm doing the video here and I don't want to cut myself. So that reveals the second benefit. Not only is it retractable completely, and then it clips on, so it's a real safety thing. This one here doesn't feel like it's exactly safe. It feels like the blade can actually quite easily pull out with a little bit of effort, but it does click. This one's very securely clicked. And then on top of that, not only is it, you know, secure, like there's a really loud noise. I'm not sure you can pick up on it from the mic. There you go, hear that? But basically the blade here, in addition, is incredibly sharp. So this one I have to be incredibly careful with, because this can really cut you up. Like if you just touch it, you'll start bleeding, right? This is one of those things like a scalpel blade. So what I'd like to show you, the last third benefit to this thing is, I'm gonna pull out the back here and be very careful here, right? Because there are blades inside. So in here, right, it looks like a mag. You know, just don't talk about that stuff. I'm not in the country for that kind of stuff. Promise I'm not armed or anything. It's not, no, okay, don't worry, nothing like that. But basically here are the blades. So there's like 4 blades here. Again, you're picking from a dollar store. It's very, here, let me show you closer. So there's 4 replaceable blades here that they give you as spares, and you just tuck it inside here, wedge it in. Again, it looks so much like a mag, like a mini little mag thing. It's like a taser gun with mags. You just pluck it in, and oops, you had the wrong way.
With 17 years experience in
Oh, I should remember which side was which side.
Online programs, AC Online delivers
Oh,
practical
well, it's not that
secondary
important.
options with
But there's a certain way you should put, yeah, because one side is a bit wider than the other, so you got to put it in a certain way, and it clicks. And now you got this retractable blade with replaceable blades, and it's really, really sharp, and got a nice clicking mechanism that makes it really safe. Last thing I want to cover before we move on to I think paperwork is this, and this one has to do with residency once again. But they're just foam earplugs and foam earplugs. So you know, when you go to a construction site, well, actually I was waiting for a moment to purchase these. It came so late. I bought these like 2-3 days ago. But basically this would be supremely helpful in blocking out all the awful rancid behavior inside this house, all the screaming, the gossip. Well, it's kind of, the screaming has died down now, all right? It's gone now. All the shouting, all the, you know, horrible things that people would say about each other, they've all kind of toned down. And the irony is I had to say something and become, you know, kind of, they encourage me to be like them. Okay, I'll be like them. And then they, you know, it's kind of weird because I'm doing exactly what they keep forcing me to do, like keep telling me to do and pushing me and pressuring me to do. And once I do it, they ridicule me. So it's like, what the fuck? That's your behavior there. But because of that, they finally have been more toned down. Although it's clear to me that they don't really want to be. And well, good news is, you know, we won't be living together anymore. So that's good stuff. Anyways, but you know, I really wish I had these phone plugs sooner. Anyways, it's $3.50. So it's actually quite expensive, I would say. But because there's 20 pairs, not 20 earplugs, but 20 pairs. So there's 40 plugs here. That's just like, you know, if you use each plug maybe for like 3-4 days, you probably shouldn't, but if you do, this will last you over a month. So sure. Anyways, roll into the cylinder in the back here, insert into the ear, and that's that. Discard the earplugs if they become dirty or if they do not expand fully within 30 seconds. The product is designed to help reduce noise levels to protect your hearing. Misuse can result in hearing loss or injury to your ears. Okay. And yeah, 30 decibels, maximum noise reduction of 30 decibels. Memory sponge, and okay, so that's that. And I've scanned this as well. It's already uploaded onto Drive through my phone. Again, phone. That's that. And so that's all the products I have to show you. But I want to say very briefly, of course, what the fuck is that song called? The song right now says "Let's Call Mom." I don't know what. Anyways, so that's that. That's all the products. So I want to say that most of the products here, of course, drop sheets, the stuff where it's gonna go. I'm gonna unbox most of it except for the toilet bowl thing because this is, again, it's poisonous, it's toxic chemicals. But the rest of the stuff I'm gonna move all to either the storage unit, but most of it is going to go directly to my current place that leased out. So, okay. And that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna place the gloves inside here, this bag, just keep everything nice and easy to carry with me. For example, just like that. And place stuff inside, and then we're just gonna move this all the way out. And Alamos. Okay. Yeah, you get the idea. Put everything inside the drop sheet package, and then it's easy to move over to my storage. Move over to my newly leased out place. So, and then of course I didn't mention also that these clips here, these tools are so good and so useful, even for self-defense if you needed to. If you're getting like mugged on the street, people are becoming really quite hyper-aggressive nowadays. I just tell you, and there are people actually getting physical on the public transit now. Like people were just pulling on my hair a while back because they thought it was kind of funny and stuff like that. So people aren't afraid to get, it's not just like physical, it's not just verbal or slander or harassment now. It's actually going to become almost assault. Like people are actually getting to the point where they're actually like touching and like starting to get into fights and stuff. Like it's kind of weird how society's become from like oversensitive to completely insensitive, which is ironic because I believe in both cases you still care too much. In one end, you care too much in the sense that you can't withstand a lot of pressure. In this case, you apply so much pressure that's unnecessary. So it's like over there you care too much, and then you become anxious and stable and a victim mentality person. And then in this case where you're overly insensitive, you still care way too much. You just care enough to make fun of, insult, and put your nose into other people's business, to harass and assault people because they're like look different or whatever. Like it's ridiculous. It's not like they're not working, they have a job, they have a business. But even so, you would go out of your way caring too much to basically harass other people. So as far as I'm concerned, both of them are pretty awful. One side's victim blaming and the other's victim mentality, and it's fucking horrible. So long story short, I'm going to carry this stuff with me because it seems like you have to defend yourself nowadays. Awful. It's pretty awful, man. But there are benefits to that, right? Because sometimes you harass people who are really dangerous, and then maybe it works and then they're not dangerous anymore. I don't know. it works. It's like enforcement, right? It's like public enforcement, and there are benefits to that. So, I don't know, society issues. We live in a society. There's that meme going around. Yeah. Anyways, that's everything. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. 25 minutes. And again, here's the visual animation. I'm starting to remember how to do everything now. I've got some peace of mind. I can tell I'm a lot more collected. So, ciao. Yeah, see you guys in the next one. And the next video will cover most likely, well, we'll see. I think purchases more so. Okay. And a tenant agreement. Look forward to it.